Hello, everyone out there in Radio Land.
Did I do it now? In Jesus' name we pray, amen. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen.
Is that the way you always used to get out of when you fall asleep in class?
Yeah.
When they wake you up and you say, in Jesus' name we pray?
No, when I was in school, I was the one always talking, remember? I was the one always talking. So I never fell asleep in school. Not me. I might miss something. I only missed one day of school.
Is that right?
I only missed one day of school when I was in high school. Missed one day of high school.
One day in high school. That's unbelievable. I can understand grammar school, but high school? Really?
You know what day it was?
What day was that, George Wallace?
It was my mama's funeral, February 8th.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Died on Thursday. She died on Thursday night. I was in school Friday morning.
Uh-huh.
And I left school and I went to somewhat rearrange the funeral, and Monday I missed. And Tuesday I was back in school. I love school. I'm one of the kids that always afraid I might miss something.
Right. Yeah.
So I love school.
Well, I was one of the kids who was afraid I was going to miss something. That's why I never took naps.
Is that right?
In nursery school and kindergarten, it's like, we can't get this child to go to sleep. And my mother said she's just afraid that she's going to sleep through something. And so.
Well, that's back in the day when school was fun. I wonder, is it fun now?
Well, fun at home? Because that's.
Well, now we're talking about a whole new now.
Yeah.
It must be hell at home now. Oh my God! If I was at school and I was at home all day, have you ever heard of a dish rag?
Of course.
My mama would pop my ass with that dish rag if I was. Hey, let me ask you something about the dish rag. This was the most important cloth in the house. She washed the stove with it.
Did she do this before she went?
She washed the windows with it. She could do everything with that dish rag.
I know, and we still live through all of that. Her cleaning the dishes, the table, the carpet, everything could get cleaned with that dish rag, and we lived.
And the dish rag, and the clean dish rag wasn't always white either.
No, sir. No, sir. And then once a week they throw it in the washing machine.
How about when you grew up, did your mom cook breakfast or some food, and what was left, she just leave it on top of the stove and you run by every now and then and just grab whatever you want, like bacon?
No, I've seen that, especially in households with little boys. But we didn't do that. If there was anything left over, it went into the refrigerator almost immediately.
Well, we had it on top of the stove, bacon, and probably fly doo-doo on it and everything. But you said, and we're still here. And we're still here.
Yeah, and we're still here. Yeah. And George Wallace, we're working our way through a pandemic, and we are still here. And we have had a week of celebration of John Lewis, and we are still here, and we are here with marching orders from the congressman, as I believe. In the What You Need to Know newsletter, we spent a lot of time this week paying honor and homage to Congressman John Lewis as a giant amongst the civil rights leaders. And it was today was the culmination of that and the funeral, which was about 3.5 hours long.
2.5 hours, yeah, about 2.5 hours. And if it gets too short, if it gets too short, black people start talking longer. So matter of fact, there's never been a black funeral longer than less than 2 hours, right?
Pretty close. Yeah, I would say that's true, unless it's a Catholic funeral, and then they kind of move things along.
Yeah, my cousin died. I'm going, what? We done?
Right. I had an aunt that died, and it was a Catholic mass, and everybody's like, well, when I get to say something, when do I get to give all honor to? And they weren't having it. They were not having it. Yeah. For those who follow our What You Need to Know newsletter, thank you very much. And please go and subscribe if you don't to SybilWilkes.com. That's SybilWilkes.com. And give us your email address and your name, and we will send you the What You Need to Know newsletter every morning, Monday through Friday. And as I was saying, George, we have spent a lot of this week talking about the late, great John Lewis, and today culminated with that. And the ceremony took place it was, I'm trying to think. So it was about 10 o'clock Central Time, about 11 o'clock your time, George.
11 o'clock my time.
And it went till what, 2:33?
2:33.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was so powerful, George. I like ceremony like that. And I do believe that people should get their roses while they're living.
Yes.
And I do believe that the Congressman Lewis did get his roses, but I think that ceremony was more for the rest of us than it was for him.
Ooh, that was.
In that we were charged time and time again with what we need to do, how we need to carry on his memory, and in his name, the activities that we need to take up if we have not already. And wasn't it just great to hear President Obama?
We'll get to him. Obama. Anytime I see him, I'm kind of like losing it, because this guy was so great, and to have met him and for him to have come to Las Vegas and we hugged and did all of that stuff. But there's a man in transformation, Mr. Bush. You remember nobody? We used to hate him.
Yeah, we were talking about that today. Yeah.
Now you see him. That's how stupid Trump is. Now you see Trump, you go, hey, it's that guy. I know he was disappointed that Michelle was not there today, because
I know.
He had his little candy ready.
Okay. And it was probably best because of social distancing. They may not have been able to sit next to each other, but there were two people who were missing. George Bush and his wife Laura Bush were there. President Obama was there. Bill Clinton was there. But both President Obama and President Clinton were without their spouses. Exactly. And did not see former First Lady Michelle Obama or former First Lady and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, and people asking about that. And it could have been the pandemic, could have been, and Jimmy all of those things. And Jimmy Carter and his wife sent their message, and which they read during the ceremony.
Also, did we not see Andrew Young today?
I heard someone reference the ambassador in the room.
Okay,
of the church, but I did not see him in the camera work, moving around the room. And you know who else it was good to see? Former Atlanta Mayor Bill Campbell.
Oh, did he look presidential or what today?
Yeah.
I'm texting with him in a few minutes, because we text back and forth all the time.
Oh, nice.
You know him. You met him. He came when you come to Atlanta. He loves us, all of us. He loves all of us. He's very active in the community. He loves comedy, and he's such a great guy. He spoke well. Oh my God, it was good to see him.
It really was, and for him to talk about, and we talk about this in the newsletter tomorrow, at the insistence of Yolanda, that we include his part of his speech, as he has placed John Lewis, and rightly so, on par with Gandhi, with Martin Luther King Jr., with Mandela. And I just thought it was positively brilliant. And he talked about the last moments in which they were together. And he, thought he was going to give him, tell him how much he loved him, and the last words they were going to share. And he leaned in and he told them, get these people out to vote. This is the most important election of our lifetime. Get them to the polls. Vote.
That's how I feel too. I am so excited about this election, because we have to vote like we've never voted before. Like I said, I'm expecting some trickery. I don't know what I mean when I say trickery, but I'm expecting something to go awry, something not right, be it the mail-in vote, be it something. I don't know what these Trump people are up to. But I want to go back to Bill.
And can I just tell you, when you do text him the last time, please give him my regards. I was just so happy to see him, and I was not aware of all the things that he's doing in the community, but I just adore him. I really
look younger. Now here's a question I wanted to ask you about him. He was in prison. Mm-hmm. Was that a felony? Was that tax?
I believe it was a felony, George, and I have not looked up what his charges were, but I want to say, and people will probably write in and tell us. But
my question is,
how
can he run again for something?
Yes, yeah.
We would love to have him. Maybe he made a mistake, but the guy did it in Washington D.C. What was his name? and came back and become mayor again.
Oh, and Marion Barry?
Marion Barry, he did it. Didn't he go? He was that
Yeah.
a felony at the time for weed? Was that a felony? Okay.
I'm not sure, but he certainly did come back, and mayor for life they called him.
I hope he does that.
Yeah.
The mayor, the former mayor of Atlanta. I hope he does come back and run for office. He looks presidential.
He really does. He really does.
Yeah, and the people loved him. He always does the right thing. And
it was tax evasion. He was convicted for tax evasion. Came from a 5-year federal investigation into possible corruption during his time as mayor of Atlanta, and he was sentenced to 30 months in prison on 3 counts of tax evasion.
It's only 30 months. That's good. Seemed like he was out because he was at every comedy show. All the shows. Day and I would. He would always come to our shows when we went out together, and it was just support from that guy. But there's so many good supporters. You'll be surprised how many great supporters we have just by the Tom Joyner Morning Show and all of us being together. Just like to have a Bishop Paul E. Martin, Paul S. Martin.
Oh, yeah.
People like that. And you go like, man, they came to the show. They know what we do, And I tried to.
And George, your friend, was it Bishop Barbara King?
Yeah, but you know her?
Yeah, well, because of you, because she used to come to the Sky shows and she came to your comedy shows and all of that. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and it was something about the religious leaders and politicians that absolutely, I mean, sports people, all of that, they dug you guys too, but it was something about the preachers and the politicians.
I don't know, is it Reverend Bobby Jones, Reverend Dr. Bobby Jones?
Oh my God, yes.
Loved to, he wouldn't cuss, but he loved to hear us cuss.
Oh my God. And George, one of the best moments on the Tom Joyner cruise was when we did a roast of Jay.
Exactly. I wasn't on that, but I saw it.
And he pulled somebody up. There was somebody in our group, and he pulled them up on stage. And every time it came to a curse word, Dr. Bobby Jones would blah, 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 and somebody would say MF or damn, or, it was just,
yes.
That's right.
Dr. Bobby Jones. So we're in with believe it or not, we're so in with the religious people. They love us. I guess we're all the same age, aren't we? And
George, I think the youngins like you too, George. You can't put an age cap on that or too young. I think
I'm talking about there's something amongst us, our age, there's a different love that we have that the young people, the things that they do now, we don't do half the junk that they do because they're so technical, advanced. They get to see XXX movies when we had to go somewhere and hide and look at
or pull out the Super 8 machine, George.
I'm so old. We used to look in the Sears catalog.
That was your form of porn?
Yeah, you laughing, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yes. Now, talking about somebody that looks good today, too. And I love Jennifer Holliday.
Yeah. She sang.
She sang, didn't she?
She sang.
Let me tell you, when y'all have my funeral, you can sing if you want to, but I want y'all to sing one of those old religious songs, too. I want you to get in it and go ahead and have some church, okay?
Okay. We're going to have church with you, George, because...
but I want you to cuss, too. So I don't think necessarily you don't have to be I don't think I want my funeral in a church. I want it to be like when we had John Witherspoon funeral, just in an auditorium.
Yeah.
And after this funeral, I saw so much today. I started writing out my own little
your own order of events as you want.
Not necessarily order, but what I want, because John did that. He wrote his funeral today, and Congressman Lewis, and I thought it'd be good to put down names that you want that could possibly speak on you or speak for you. And no, he ain't speaking. No, he will not be speaking.
Okay.
He will not be speaking. Don't even bring it up. Okay.
I think we know. George, tell me about your interactions with Congressman Lewis.
Well, I didn't know him that well. I would always see him at events like the Trumpet Awards when I performed. He'd always come up and say hello. And I think in Washington, D.C. at the Black Caucus, we'd always shake. And who else was that? Not only John Lewis, but Senator Clyburn. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But no,
Congressman Clyburn, yeah.
but the teaching of John, I come from the school down south, the teaching of Representative Lewis, because, like I said, I was at Dr. King's funeral. Where the church was today, I was at Dr. King's funeral across the street at the original church. I was up on a telephone pole, but you never saw that photo of me?
No, but I've heard you talk about it. I've not seen it, but I just thought that was so brilliant.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't get into church. I had flown from college I had driven from college in Akron, Ohio to Atlanta, because when I grew up, Dr. King was like, my aunt lived across the street from them on Auburn Avenue. Dr. King was the biggest thing in the world as far as we were concerned.
Yeah, of course.
So I had to go back to that, and I went to I was on the pole outside, and people said I was looking the wrong direction. They said, "Why are you looking?" I'm falling off that damn pole. But what it was to go. I'm going to find this photo before we leave. But just being at the funeral with the doctor, and everybody was there. John Lewis and the whole thing. Mahalia Jackson sang at that funeral, by the way.
Wow.
I saw everybody there. Barry Gordon. You just go down there. Sammy Davis Jr.
And Perry Belafonte, all those people. Yeah.
And I was there.
You were there.
Ebenezer Baptist Church on Auburn Avenue in Atlanta. I'm proud of my hometown more. I don't know what. There's so much happening in Atlanta, but there's so many of us dying. Even at the funeral today. To me, I'm a hypochondriac. Church wasn't full, which I didn't expect it to be today, but they were still too close for me.
They were too close for a lot of people. That was the commentary that some people had. They were surprised at. And George, it's very funny. I'm not sure if it was.
I know you're talking about. I know. Go ahead.
Was it Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and she and her husband were situated, and then two other guys came and sat right next to her, like they were family, and they obviously weren't. And so they weren't.
The big thing is our lady friend, Zonona Clayton. She says she's about 90 years old.
I loved her. She was so great.
One day I'm going to pull that ball off top of her head.
Shut up, George. But she broke all protocol.
She just told it like it was a day. She said, she didn't even ask them, can I marry you? Just, y'all married now. Y'all get married. Was she funny or what? You got to bring that home.
And George, when she came up, she hugged Reverend Warnock and hugged Reverend Bernice King, right? And they were like, okay, you can't say no to Mrs. Clayton, but they were like, and she was like, she was so, and it looked like everything she said was off the top of her head, just speaking her heart about the relationship and about introducing the congressman to his wife Lillian, and when their son came along and she became the godmother, she said, I had no idea what a godmother meant. She said, well, if something should happen to us, then you will take care of him. And she said, she said, I gotta feed him. She said, every day.
We all know who she is, right? We all know who Miss Zonona Clayton is, right? This is the lady that created the Trumpet Awards.
Right. And you know her by her beautiful black hair, and she has it in a ball, and she usually has some sort of hairpiece across the front there. And she worked with Dr. King at the SCLC. So she goes way back with all of those civil rights leaders as one of the early civil rights fighters. And so and she was just so delightful. So she is the godmother of John Miles Lewis, the son of John and Lillian Lewis. And talking about spanking him and just it was so delightful to get that side of Congressman Lewis when she was like, he was a little slow, she was a little slow.
Don't say the man was slow.
I know.
He was a little slow, he didn't really catch it. He really didn't know. He was a little slow, but it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
But she's an inspiring lady.
She really is.
Awards. She put an award ceremony together that nobody, and it was for blacks by blacks, and it was probably, when I received it, I told them it was the best award I could. It was better than any Emmy or any Oscar you could get, because that was for us and by us, and we still have so much fun. I don't think she owns it now. I think Bounce TV owns it now. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it has moved around, and for a while, remember it was on TBS and TNT.
but it
Yeah,
was big
yeah,
worldwide.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
When Ted
absolutely.
Turner sponsored it, she
Mm-hmm.
used to work
Yep,
with Ted Turner, and
yep.
he got involved, and it was on TV worldwide, and it was so. That's why I met Bishop Tutu. I
Oh,
met
really?
I met so many people at the trumpet. Bishop Tutu and
Were
his
you?
daughter, One Two was there.
So did you?
I went there one time. Hey, let me Sybil. One time it was Bishop Tutu there, and it was Bishop. I said, I know your daughter 1 2. And then he was sitting next to BB Winans, and BB was sitting next to CC, and I said, there's a BB, and there's a ZZ. There's something that. Well, how many Winans are there? There's just so many Winans, and the Winans were there today too. BB and see, I wanted them to cut loose. Oh my God!
They got pretty close to as close as they possibly could, because at some point I had a feeling somebody was telling them to, because at that point that they came on, they were well into, I want to say, the third hour.
Yes.
I can never get enough of the Winans and BB and CC. I can never get enough of hearing them sing. But George, back to Bishop Tutu. Do you remember when we met him in South Africa when he came?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yes. You start talking about the trips we've been on, and we had so many great trips. If you don't travel, listen, I don't even know how to say it. I remember once you guys went to my place in Hawaii, and I wasn't even there. And you and your friend Yogi and I, did I surprise y'all or something like that?
Yes, you did. You came. Next thing we're there chilling, not alone. And George,
not alone. Listen to me. I sent you and Yogi to my place in Hawaii. I'm gonna get you surprising. And I walk in, I'm like, who is that? They both got boyfriends up in here. What the hell?
oh God, is it warm in here? I think so. Yeah.
Those times are so much fun. I'm going, did I walk in on something? But to travel and to go to South Africa and to Bishop Tutu, and then not only that, how about Winnie's? We went to the house, Winnie's house, and across
we
the
went
street.
to Soweto, yes.
Yes, Soweto. Went to a nightclub in somebody's house.
Yeah, you remember that? Were you there when we did the wedding?
We went to the wedding, yes.
Yeah, remember that? We went to someone's wedding, and it was incredible. It was hot. We were all scared to eat something.
And then we went to you remember we went to a Prince house also. We stayed at the house.
To the King's house, and out in outside of Johannesburg, right?
Just to travel and be involved, just with you guys, I've had some of the greatest moments in my life. That's all I can say.
That's really nice.
And that's why
it's not over. We're not done traveling together yet.
We are while this COVID-19 is on.
But George, at some point we're going to be able to go out again. My friend Stephen Hill is on with us.
I saw him yesterday. Where is he?
Yeah.
Is he in Barbados or somewhere? Did he go to Barbados or somewhere like that?
No,
There's not too many places we can go.
He's outside of the country, but he and gave us a little tour of.
Well, it was outside of the country. I mean, remember one time I said if Trump win, I was going to move to Switzerland or Cleveland.
And Cleveland, and that's and for some people, with the exception of Kim Whitley, it is outside of the country. Yeah.
Listen, Cleveland has got to be tired of doing the joke. I went to school in Cleveland, so I
love. You went to school there. I was going to say,
But I always said there's three things: a tornado, a hurricane, or a storm. Three places they won't go. They won't go to rich neighborhoods like Buckhead or Beverly Hills or where the rich people. Any city, you never see the rich people getting hit very hard. Even in New Orleans, the rich people, they were okay. Second place, they won't go. They won't. If you ever want to live in a safe place, move next door to Home Depot. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what happens, how bad the storm is. Home Depot is open tomorrow. You can see that blue tarp out there. Home Depot is open. So there's places they will go. And number three, the hurricanes and the tornado says Cleveland. We're gonna pass on Cleveland. We're gonna let Cleveland go.
You are so
But
silly.
listen, something is happening in Cleveland. The Biden is going to be in Cleveland. That's where he's going to accept his speech, right? It's been changed to Cleveland.
Has it been changed to Cleveland?
I
It's
thought
not.
so.
It's not still Wisconsin.
Correct me on that, somebody, okay? Because I think something happened in Milwaukee. Something is happening in Cleveland. I apologize.
Okay. No, I could have missed that. But and we're still not sure about Donald Trump, Jacksonville,
Who don't give
Charlotte.
a damn about Donald Trump, Jacksonville? I don't care if he has it in the water. He go. Listen, this guy is such an idiot. What did he do stupid today besides wake up? Today,
He tweeted out, George, speculating that the election day, November 3rd, mark this down, ladies and gentlemen, that it could be extended, the election day, and delayed until a later date.
because he definitely doesn't want mail write-in voting, which we got to do.
He definitely he tried to clarify that this afternoon by talking about the fact that he wants mail-in ballots because that's what he's done. He will, but he was talking about the fact that it's the absentee ballots that he doesn't want, and so yeah, he was talking about that at his little mini press conference this afternoon. But he's all good with the mail-in ballots. But anyway, he tweeted out about delaying election day, and then everybody just went crazy. And it's like and you don't want to call him an idiot, but like you can't see this. You can't see this.
You don't want to call him an idiot.
You don't want to call because of
Why not? The man is an idiot. He's not an idiot.
That's what it is.
That's an A word. What's the A? I can't think of the A word, but there's an A word also. He's an idiot. He has no idea what he's doing or what he's talking about. He just goes off on a tangent.
So he went off on this tangent. He went off on this tangent about delaying the election. The election is not going to be delayed, and he has no right to say this, or he has a right to say it, but he has no say in this. It will take an act of Congress, and you know darn good and well that Nancy Pelosi is saying no way in hell this is going to happen.
Always the first day after the first Monday.
Two things. Yeah, after the first Monday of November, right? So, George, two things. Joe Biden is going to accept the nomination in Milwaukee still, and Cleveland is the date of the first presidential election. They canceled. Oh, I'm sorry. First presidential debate. Thank you, Yolanda.
That's what it is. I'm so sorry.
Debate, September 29th. They canceled on the campus of Notre Dame. In South Bend, Indiana, but the first debate is going to be September 29th. Miami is still on the calendar on the 15th of October, and a week later in Nashville.
Why would anybody want to go to Miami? Why would anybody want to go to LA? Why would anybody want to go to any of these hot spots to have a debate?
Well, that's what University of Notre Dame said. There's still too much going on as far as the coronavirus is concerned, and so they don't want that to happen. So that is one place it's not going to happen. Whether they will make that up at some other place, but George, here we are already at August.
In August, we got
August, right? So they're talking about the first debate being in the end of September. So and we haven't even gotten through our first wave of the pandemic.
Not even to the first wave. Now, guess who I talked to yesterday? I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, April Ryan.
Oh, wonderful.
I got to talk to her. What a one. And we spent a lot of time together up in did you go to the Massachusetts?
No, I did not go.
But it's not going to happen. Yeah. But in any case, I asked April because I think she was dogged. I said, April, when are you going to stand up one day and just ask him, is there some, since it's going to be your last day and first day. And I said, I think the reporter should get together. If he doesn't follow up on one question, everybody should continue answering the same question. And she said she's full of him. She's ready to go. She's ready to go up on him. And it was just so good to talk to her because she's so good at what she does.
She's brilliant. She's
brilliant. Like he did. I was so pissed.
I love and respect April Ryan so much, and she's another one of those history makers.
Exactly.
as a Black woman there in the White House press corps, and sitting in the room where it happens, and the lack of respect that she got in this Trump administration, starting with your girl Omarosa and all of that craziness, and then with
What
the
happened to Omarosa? Is she still around?
I hope not. I know she is. She's still around. She's really good friends with Kim Whitley. She's
I
still
know
friends.
she came to my church. I had them at my church together once, but I didn't know she hadn't spoken up for Trump at the time because I wouldn't have.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
maybe we're still friends. I don't know, but
Oh, I'm sure you are. If you can do something for her, I'm sure you are.
What?
I said, if you can do something for her, I'm sure you're still friends.
She wanted to come back to my church and talk, and I said no.
You did?
I'm kind of powerful at my church,
Oh, no.
Speaking of my church, there's another thing I want to do. I go to West Angeles Church of God in Christ, the largest church in Los Angeles. Also, the biggest African-American religious, how do you say that now? The denomination now.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask my bishop, can we
Is that Bishop Blake?
Bishop Charles E. Blake, can all of our churches over 500 members open up for a place of election? So
interesting.
Why can't we? We got plenty of volunteers to work.
So I'm wondering about the separation of church and state.
No, most of the places are in. Most of the voting places are in churches as of now.
But I'm just wondering if if in this election they will allow that to continue. Because I know there's always been a question of that. But there have been. I agree with you. There have been voting places in church.
Why aren't we able to vote at a post office, every school? It should be no problem to vote, and that's something we got to talk about it all the time. Every other question we should talk about.
George, beyond talking about where we can vote, let's talk about who is going to be there to man and woman the polls, because that's a big problem of having enough people to work the polls on election day. That's
with the virus also.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's what we do.
So not only that, who's going to work the polls, but also I can't see that. There's a reflection on that.
That's just me. You know what? That's just my phone. Guess what that is?
What that is?
That's George Wallace and Mason Temple. I'm at the podium where Dr. King made his last speech.
Oh, okay, there it is. It's back. Oh, wow. That's very cool.
I've been to the top of the mountain. I looked over and I seen.
Come on, preacher.
Yeah. So that just happened to pop up on my screen right now. But that's the last place Dr. King made his speech.
Wow, George, you've been so many places in your life and times.
Somebody wrote a song about that. And you know what? I'm so blessed to have done so many things. I met Muhammad Ali. I could just go on and on. President Barack Obama, of course, is the greatest thing in the world. And Aretha Franklin coming to my show, coming on my stage, singing with me. Let me tell you what happened to Aretha Franklin. Somebody in the audience said to me, "How about your big fat ass mama, George Wallace?" I said, "How about your big fat ass mama? Your mama's so fat, blah, 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 blah." All of a sudden, hold on. That's my son you're talking to. It was Aretha Franklin's son. And I went, "Oh my God." I said, I'm sorry. I didn't know he said that. "That's my son you're talking to. You're talking about me." And another man said, "Your mama's so stupid." She went, I said, "How about your stupid ass mama?" She said, "That's my other son." She was so great. But some of these things we talk about being blessed. I'm one of the most blessed people. And for the people to come to the show and have fun, and once again, traveling with you guys, and now we're talking about voting, and we're going to get, and another thing, more Black women are running for office this year than ever.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, we do have.
Women can change this world, and if we go out and vote, we can change this world.
We have changed the world, and we continue to do so. One of the great moments in our recent electoral history was the role of Black women that they played in the election of Doug Jones as a Democratic senator from Alabama. And then this past year, just this electoral season in the primaries, the Black folks of South Carolina came out and changed the tide of the whole Democratic election process by pushing and propelling Joe Biden from the bottom to the top.
I just thought about something. We all should move to Alabama. So we all can vote. Because Jamie, there's one poll, he's only 4 points difference.
Jamie
And I want
Harrison.
to start talking to the people about think young.
Jamie Harrison
Think
is in
young.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, think young. And the young people are always right. When we were kids, we were talking about Vietnam. Young people are always right. That's what John Lewis was talking about. What you can do is go and vote. We need, I'm going to send Jamie some money, $5, $10, whatever I have left. I don't want to send it to him. But we need to back Jamie. We need to back him and it'll be, how nice it would be to get Lindsey Graham out of office.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And George, you may not agree with him politically, but it would set quite the tone for the state of South Carolina, because if Jamie Harrison wins as the senator from South Carolina, he as the African-American Democrat, and there is an African-American Republican, Tim Scott, as the senator from the Republican senator from South Carolina. And that
he's not really on my side. He's really not. He went against, he didn't say anything about the chokehold. What the hell is wrong with you? Why don't you piss me off? And you know, Scott, you're halfway there because you're black, but not voting against the chokehold. You gotta do that. You gotta do that.
And I wondered about him being there at John Lewis's services today. I know that Senator Kamala Harris and Senator Cory Booker were both there, but I wondered about Tim Scott being there. I didn't hear any mention about him. But talking about the women, this is a story in the What You Need to Know newsletter today that in the last 2 to 3 years, the power of Black women in politics never been more apparent. We talked about the Alabama Senate race as well as the South Carolina primary this political season, and at least 122 Black or multiracial Black women have filed to run for congressional seats. And at this point, the number is about 60 women are still in the running. And so that is definitely to be celebrated. And I'm wondering if there will be a Black woman on the presidential ticket as we get close to that, because it's supposed to be happening any day now, the announcement.
It's supposed to be down to 4 people, they say right now, right?
The 4 Black women are on the list. There's a longer list, and they say that Elizabeth Warren may be one of those, as well as the senator from Illinois is also one of those. But there are 4 Black women, and that may be Susan Rice, Senator Kamala Harris, Val Demings, Congresswoman from Orlando, and
they're all good. They're all good. And the lady of color, Duckworth, is she considered a
Tammy Duckworth is the senator from Illinois, yeah. Karen Bass.
Karen Bass from California.
Yeah,
these ladies are fantastic. These ladies are fantastic.
But also mentioned, and we haven't heard a lot lately, but don't forget about Stacy Abrams, who was the gubernatorial candidate for Georgia a couple of years ago. And
what are we gonna do with her? Oh my God, Stacy! Now we know she won the governorship, but the guy was running.
And Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is another one that's still.
The Atlanta's loaded. Atlanta is loaded.
I know, you gotta love that, George.
Oh my God, they got to do something. Stacey Abrams got to be somewhere. We got to just.
Sure. You know what I thought about, George?
Did you think about that too? But
I thought about. I'm thinking about all of the roles that these people are going to play. Like Susan Rice is really on the rise. She's really being mentioned a lot.
Well, she knows everything. She's really most qualified. She's done everything.
National security advisor and all of that. But I was thinking about the fact that if they don't choose a Black woman, how this is going to change the dynamics, not only of this race, but also of the political party in terms of this. Think about it, if he selects Elizabeth Warren, who is a senator from Massachusetts, and she runs with him, they win, okay? And who will take Elizabeth Warren's place? How great would it be if they put another Black woman in the United States Senate, and that would be Ayanna Pressley, who is a congresswoman from Massachusetts. So, just thinking about the juggling and things like that, I'm not sure about Elizabeth Warren. I was just thinking about, just kind of.
If it does happen. Now you talk about juggling. How nice would it be? Oh my God, her name just went out of my head. Loretta, Supreme Court.
Oh, Loretta Lynch.
Oh my God.
The former Attorney General. Oh my gosh, George, talk about just another dynamic person. Yes.
If we get in and Joe Biden, let's say if he doesn't choose a black lady, there's so many other places he can put a black lady.
Oh yeah, but
we got to put Stacy Abrams has got to be the governor of Georgia.
Please let it be as a vice presidential choice too.
I do too. I like everybody. I like everybody. I'm voting. Like I said, I'm voting.
I'm voting. I'm voting like we do in Chicago, early and often. I don't know.
That lady that took off the syrup bottle, what's her name? And Jemima. And Jemima. I'm voting for him. Okay. Let me tell you what they did. They were trying to be politically correct with the lady, Land O'Lakes. Indian lady. They took her face off the brand, but they kept the land. So the land is still there. They kept the land. They took her face away, but they kept the land. How about that? But listen, I'm voting. I don't care who it is. And I know it's going to be a good candidate. The black lady is going to be good. And we just got to vote. I got to do what I got to go out and ask people, my friends, are you voting? Are you eligible to vote? Can I call an Uber for you to go vote? Can I call?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. Do all people get preference? Let's say, can they go to the front of the line?
I don't see a problem with that. They have now special hours for people to go, older people to go to the grocery store these days. I don't see why we don't.
Her name is Yogi. I swear to God, she knows everything. At least she thinks she does. Ask her.
Yolanda, she stepped away.
People of age. People of age. Us.
Can we get to the front of the line?
Why not? Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be great. And we should. That's right. And where was I the other day? I was at Luby's and socially distanced, standing in line, and there was an elderly woman who was behind me, and there were several people in front of me. And so this one lady who was about to go and place her order asked if this elderly person could go in front of me. And then she asked the person in front of me if the elderly person could go in front of them, and so on and so on. We can do that at the polls. We can bring our elderly people up to the front of the lines. Yeah, we can do
that up. So we'll keep bringing that up. We can ask them if they see somebody elderly behind. You can get in front of me. You can get in front of me. Can she go? That's so good. So Sybil, you be thinking.
I'd be thinking. I need your hat, George.
I'll send you one.
George, I didn't want to close without talking about your friend.
We've been on 15 minutes.
We've been on 45 minutes.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
I got to eat my food. Let me tell you something.
You brought dinner.
Let me tell you something. It was Mara J talking today. We got into it all of a sudden. People mention something, you start thinking about it. This is one of those Popeye sandwiches that you couldn't get.
Oh, right.
And I always remember the black lady. I'm going through something right now. I'm going, when she's in the commercial. So I decided to get one. I got some red beans and rice. I'm going to eat. But, okay, you got to talk fast. We've been on 45 minutes. We didn't talk about it.
George, you know what? I've never had one of the Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
It's really good, but I ain't going to stop. I'm not going to stop going to my other place, but I'm not going to.
George, I wanted to talk about another loss. Today it was reported that Herman Cain, a former presidential candidate, as well as the CEO of Godfather's Pizza, has passed away as a result of coronavirus. Right, it's his book. I also wanted to show this picture. I don't know if you guys can see. Am I doing it right? How's that?
Oh, yeah. Where'd you get that from? I tweeted it.
You text that to us today. That's you on stage with Herman Cain. And whether it is politics or religion or George Wallace has no boundaries in terms of that. He doesn't cut people off because of, with the exception of maybe one guy in the White House, but he does not deny friendship or the friendship or fellowship with someone who he doesn't agree with politically.
Matter of fact, I like that more because I could banter with him. He wanted me. That's the book. Now he loves me. Look what he put on the book.
What is? We can't see it. George
Henry.
Oh, he did. He put Henry.
Okay. Kick his ass off the stage. You don't know me. Listen, he came up. He's a good guy. And like I said, we respect him. And I told him in the audience, he was running, he was doing 99999. I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I said, I know he qualifies to be president because he's one of the smartest people in the world. Anytime you can sell, what's the name of that the shitty pizza that he sold? If you can sell that pizza, you qualify to be president of these United States. But he was a good guy. He actually wanted me to do a radio show with him because he took over for a guy named a white guy, Neil Bortz.
Yeah, Neil Bortz in Atlanta.
Big time. They had a big time radio show. And I wanted to work with him because back and forth, the bantering, and that's, controversial radio, compelling radio. Because I like nothing they do. And I had a lot of people agree with me, of course. And he was a nice man. Did you know he was a gospel singer?
I remember hearing something or hearing him sing, a clip of him singing.
I heard it today. He sang on my stage. He sang on my stage. If I could help somebody, he sang that song. That
was also at Congressman Lewis's service today.
No, that other lady sang that, right?
But I'm just saying it was sung at his service. Yeah.
I want y'all to cut the food. Sing me some real gospel when I had my funeral.
Who would you like to sing there, George?
Oh my God, that's amazing, isn't it?
Of all the people you know and love, who would you like to sing at your funeral?
Oh my goodness, Sybil.
Or a tribute to you. Let's do something while you're still here.
What I wanted to do, I was thinking about having my 65th birthday party. I wanted to do it this. Shut up.
Okay, don't mention how late we are at that. Okay.
But I thought about it having it at the Georgia Aquarium, and I wanted all my favorite people, like Paul Martin, bringing in nice. There's a blind lady that sings the blues. Yeah, I know Stephanie Mills. Who are some of my favorite? And my favorite song I want at my funeral is by You Got to Get Up Every Morning with a Smile. Beautiful. What's that?
You. That is so you. Get up every morning with a smile on your face.
And show the world all the love in your heart. And the people
you.
You're going to find, yes, you will, that you're beautiful. Carole King sang that. That was the name of the show on Broadway. Did you see?
Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Carole King. Yeah. We did see that. Oh, my God.
And then
that was wonderful music.
Wonder probably has my favorite song ever also, which would be Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. I think Barack Obama likes that song.
He got that one. Yeah.
But oh my God, who would I like to sing? There's some local singers around there that can do it. Yeah. Some of my family members, yeah. Who would you like to sing at your funeral, Sybil? Yolanda Adams?
Yes, I would love Yolanda Adams. That's a great one. She, opened up my heart. I just think that's just an incredible song. I would like Eric to sing Chocolate Legs.
Who else I would like to sing at my funeral? You know who else? I like to bring back James Brown and have him sing, get up, get up, get up, get on up. We should start thinking about this, people, and write out your, not only your funeral, but get your will and living trust ready to go.
Yeah. Thank you, George, for mentioning that. And that's something that my folks are always talking about and how we don't.
Black people don't want to talk about it. Black people don't like to talk about it.
Right. Who I do want to sing, and people may not know her, but she's my god sister, and her name is Marcia Ware, and she's a beautiful singer. And she has done, some work. She used to work with the Funk Brothers, and she's also sings Christian music.
Somebody sang a song about "Make My Funk the P-Funk."
That's not the Funk Brothers.
I played that on radio when I was on Magic 105 one morning. "Make My Funk the P-Funk."
Can we talk about your radio career one day? Because people may not remember or may have never known about you and doing radio in Chicago and places like that. So we will talk about that one day, I promise. George Wallace, thank you so much. As always, I'm gonna release you so you can go eat your chicken sandwich.
I'm gonna eat my chicken sandwich. I had that guy Boat down here. I got William Barr. He doesn't believe in systemic racism. We have so many subjects to cover, but we'll get to them. sooner or later.
I
Okay.
promise we will. I promise we will. I so appreciate your taking notes and keeping copious notes.
Hello to all the people in Los Angeles. They had a 4.5 earthquake today. I don't know
Oh
whether you know.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then they had a little shaking after, but they call it an aftershock. Now, there's
uh-huh.
no such thing. Let me make America perfectly clear. I live in Los Angeles. There's no such thing as an aftershock, okay?
Is that
If
right?
I'm walking down Peachtree Street here in Atlanta and somebody kicks my butt, and I get up and dust myself off, and I keep walking down Peachtree till I get down to Piedmont, and somebody kicks my ass again, is that an aftershock? That's another ass kicking. That's what that is. There's no such thing as an aftershock. You had another earthquake. But so good luck, and we're praying for the people out there, and want to thank you so much for all that you do. And I have fun when I'm on with you. You made my day, and no matter how down and depressed I am, and I read your newsletter every morning, it's just wonderful. Thank you so much. And you
Well,
got to
you
put
make my day.
I said hello.
And George, we will be back on Monday with your bestie,
I
J.
can't
Anthony
stand
Brown.
him. Let me tell you something. He's good though. Has he gotten better in his latter days or something like that on issues? Because when he first started, he was dumb as a rock, as they used to say.
He's trying to catch up with you, George.
He's trying to catch up with me in knowledge, but I'm scared he's like Trump, like I want to be the greatest BS in the world, and Trump is kicking my ass in that department. But Jay is so good with these issues, and we go back and forth.
I know.
We tell it right. People used to talk about our mamas, and we tell each other what to say. Y'all hate each other. Yeah, we hate each other. Yeah.
And whenever anybody gets either George or Jay alone, the other comes to his rescue, and so that's a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite text chains is with George and Myra and Jay, and it's just it's hilarious. It's great fun. I appreciate you.
Because we say things you would never.
I could never say. I could never, ever say.
Such thing as David always say, too soon, too soon. Because we got our jokes already on Herman Cain and they're too soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got our jokes, and I'm sorry. Y'all can write in, but Herman, he was my friend. I can do a joke. I think he was living on Tulsa time. I could get in trouble for something. That's civil.
George.
That's
too soon and too foul. That's too foul. That's foul.
Well, he was saying don't wear the mask. And okay.
Yeah.
I still love him. I'm still they're gonna lie about me when I die. I don't give a damn.
In another 50 years, we will have something to say.
I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I got another thing coming out pretty soon. It's already registered.
What?
Black at you.
That's right. That's right. Black at you.
Black at you.
All right, that's you. Have a wonderful weekend, George.
Black at you. You too. It's our Friday. It's just great. Okay.
And enjoy your sandwich. All right, everybody. We will be back on Monday, as I said, with J. Anthony Brown. And this has been a lot of fun, as always. Thank you, George Wallace. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a good weekend, everybody. And don't forget to wash your hands. Don't forget to wear your mask. And if you're not, please register to vote and get somebody.
With all of this dying and Black Lives Matter, I haven't washed my hands since Tuesday. Shit.
Goodbye, George. Wash your hands before you eat your sandwich.
Nice. I don't know how to get off, but okay. Bye, y'all.